I mean, I think every book is different in terms of how you need to approach it. Because I tend to do adaptations that are very research heavy. Whispers wasn't. That was sort of a different process. But with The Terror and with Pachinko. Now, The Terror came to me, Dave Kajanic, who was my partner on that, had already cracked open the pilot, and it's a stunning, stunning pilot. And then when we went straight to series and went to the room, we had a lot of discussions on how to adapt that book, because that book is told not in chronological order. It mixes so many different genres. So the challenge of The Terror was, what is it? So if you did a faithful adaptation of that book, first that would be a 20, 30-hour adaptation. But also, I think in terms of the how to represent it on a filmic medium, the book is amazing, but it did carry so many different tones that it would have been hard to translate faithfully. Once you figure out what is the tone of the show, what is the guardrails of the show, what part of the book do you feel like is the thing that you need to protect, the essence of it? After that, I really do think you have to crack open the spine of the book. And what I mean by that is, at some point, you just have to let the original source material go and make sure that you give the story a life that feels like it can be filmed. When I first read Pachinko, it's this amazing book. I didn't think I could do it right away. Even though I love the book, my one reticence about whether or not I could see the adaptation was something about the structure of the book didn't feel like, for me, compelling enough to do a direct translation, and that's because it's told chronologically. And I was worried that it was going to be, because it's period and it spans 100 years, that it was going to have this feel of like a Korean masterpiece theater kind of production. And I love masterpiece theater. I'm just not the person to do those productions. So I've been toying with it initially and talking to my agent. And then at one point I realized, I think the thing I'm really interested about in the book is the way one generation's sacrifice pays off or curses the next generation. I'm really interested in the conversations between one generation to another. And if I told that book chronologically, I don't get to the thesis statement until season 4, right, till the end of the series. And I really felt like it robbed sort of what makes the book and makes the potential of that adaptation pretty amazing. So then I decided to actually not tell it chronologically like the book. And so we cross-cut one character, Sunja, our main heroine storyline, chronologically, and that's cross-cut with her grandson's story in our so-called present day, which is 1989. And the 4 seasons of our show is a conversation between his grandmother's coming-of-age story and our own Solomon's rise and fall. Once I cracked the structure of the show, all of a sudden, it just felt like this explosion of ideas. And it was really exciting to dive into all that research. Every book is going to have a different process. But the one commonality between all adaptations, for me at least, and it's true, I think, from a lot of people I speak to, is that the book has to be sort of the inspiration, but it can't be the step-by-step manual.